Okay. Yes. Oh, I'm mic'd. That was good. That's good. How's everyone doing? How you doing? Okay. Nice. Okay. Cool.
So I have a question. When you were a little kid, did you think that you would be famous?
When I was a little kid, no, not at all. I think, I remember having trouble, I loved movies. Movies were like my thing. I loved Air Bud and my cousin Vinny, shout out. I loved Air Bud, but I remember really not knowing, I remember with Air Bud, I remember thinking, wouldn't it be so cool if, I was the kid in Air Bud? But then I realized, that wouldn't make any sense because they have to recast the parents, that no one, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be, so it was, no, I have no idea, yeah.
And so how does it feel different than what you thought it might feel like?
I think that, when you're growing up and you think about fame, I think that you think of something, this kind of, otherworldly, unrealistic, crazy thing that happens to you. But, the funny thing with fame is that, you don't really, you have a choice to be changed, and I think that, I still definitely hate myself all the time, and things like that. I still have a lot of anxiety. I still have a lot of self-doubt, and I'm still always striving for more, and I think, that's the thing about fame. It doesn't change you. It just happens to you,
So that anxiety and self-doubt, can you tell me about what that's like?
It's horrible, but a very intrinsic part of being human, I think. One of my first projects was a movie, Ocean's 8, where I was cast I was very new and thrown into the mix with these absolute icons, and I remember thinking, I don't think that I'll be able to feel the expectations of whatever I did to get hired. Mm-hmm. So. I face imposter syndrome a lot, but I think, a little bit is healthy, and a lot can lead to being quite debilitating. So you have to be careful with that, yeah.
So you mentioned earlier sort of what you saw on screen and how it seems like you felt like it didn't seem like there was a place for you there.
Yeah.
How did you experience stereotypes when you were growing up, and what did it feel like to break those stereotypes with your work?
The only way I can describe growing up with stereotypes is walking into a room with strangers and having all the strangers know what they think that they know what you're gonna sound like, how you're gonna act, what your background is, the food that you eat, the things like that. But I spent a lot of my life absolutely shattering them, not actively, but literally just by existing. When I walk into those rooms, they hear my voice and they're like, what kind of voice is that? And then, they and I think that, those things, they lead people to think that you're one-dimensional. And so I think that when we show that, it's not just the stereotypes, but your idea of something that I'm not, I think that it awakens people a little bit.
And
Thank you, thanks.
You started off making these incredible YouTube videos.
Incredible is subjective, yes.
So I'm curious how you think technology has sort of opened doors for different types of artists to make work and find their voice and get their work out there.
I think it's opened immense doors. I mean, with the internet and especially YouTube and what it was back in the day, a lot of people called it the Asian Hollywood because you'd have these Asian stars on there that would be getting millions and millions of views, but that was really their only platform. It was a way for you to say, I can make something in my bedroom and I can put it online and, maybe it'll get watched. And there's no gatekeeper, there's nothing, barring that. And I think, that has led to so much. It's really, how people are discovered through that is also, kind of redefining this landscape of what we know of entertainment.
And you made these rap videos, and now you're an actor, and I have to ask you, which do you like better, acting or your music, and how does it feel to be balancing both?
I think music was always something that music was something I had to learn. I had to learn how to produce music, how to work the computer and the program and stuff like that. And I will always continue to want to learn about that. Acting at the same time is also something that I'm learning. But yeah, I guess it's different. I don't know if I'll have a choice over how much acting I'll do in my life, but I know that I'll always make music,
So it's like under your control a little bit more.
Well, it's my passion, so I'll always come home in the middle of the night and do it. I know it'll be there, but I don't know about the other stuff.
And so I want to hear about your new show on Comedy Central, which has a mostly female writer's room.
Yes.
What has that been like? How has it felt different to be working in a crew that is so overwhelmingly female? It was great. I mean, I don't think that was the initial plan, was to do, kind of an all-female. We have 2 excellent men on our team as well. But, I think that process was really surprising to me because there was a belief that, well, they're not out there. These kinds of writers, they're not out there and whatever. And they're out there. I saw a lot of them. And I think that it's really, you just need that first chance. You don't have that first chance. You're not through the door, then yeah. So you need that. So in an interview with one of my colleagues, you use this really interesting phrase, which I think is so smart, the mirage of diversity. Sort of a surface level type of diversity where people look different, but they don't necessarily come from different experiences.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you think that diversity in Hollywood right now is kind of stuck in that mirage phase, or is it sort of moving out of that?
I think it's quite the opposite. I think that the mirage of diversity is, when I started auditioning, there were roles that, it would call for different backgrounded people, but their characters had no dimension. They were literally just in the frame,
Right.
And so I'm seeing a lot less and less in that, and I think what I'm seeing more of, and why I'm optimistic about where we're going, is I'm seeing people that are writing for diverse characters written by diverse characters, So it's like people are telling their own stories now, and I think that there's a lot more of that. I was in the movie The Farewell, written and directed by an Asian American woman, a story about her life. Thank you. And to be a part of that was something that I know probably didn't exist a lot, and I'm very lucky that I was able to experience that in my life. Yeah.
So you've done comedies, you've done a heist movie, you did a drama, you have this TV show coming out. What is next for you? What is
DJing.
DJing?
No, I just wanted to make that name so much more annoying. DJ photography. No, it's like I do a lot. I wear a lot of hats. I love DJing though. It's fun. I don't know. I feel like there's a train that I'm on, and I'm along for the ride. So I hope that good things happen, and I think that if, what I really want to see is I want to help inspire the next generation of people. I think there needs to be more. Thank you.
Well, I think thanks to your example, there almost certainly will be. I'm wondering, before we end, what is there anyone or any sort of anything in particular that is making you really optimistic about the world right now?
I mean, you take a look at that list. It's incredible. Yeah. I think that we're going through a lot right now as a society. But what I think I've seen is incredibly brave and bold voices that I think come out and speak up. And I think that the generation that we're in, we're not scared of that. And so I think it's going to become even more so that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Awkwafina, I'm so, this is really exciting.
It's cool, the setup.
Yeah.
It's like your living room.
Yeah. Yeah, my living room looks like this.
Got a C shape. Love that.
So, we have time for one more question, which is I'm wondering, what do you think people are not paying attention to that they should be paying attention to?
Oh, man. I mean, I think that there's so many ways to answer that.
I know.
And I'm probably going to think of something really stupid, but honestly, I think that people should understand other people more, you know? I know that sounds like really broad, but I think that other people should understand where people are coming from and why they believe the way that they believe. And I think that if we can understand different perspectives, we'll grow. And also marine biology.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you, Time. All right. I'm going to check out your book, by the way.
Please do.
She said it wasn't boring backstage. She was like, it's
Yeah.
not boring. So that's promising. I like that.
I hope so.
Great.
Anyway, wow, well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
For being one of the Time 100 Next.
Thank you.
And,
All right.
and you're awesome.
Cool.
So
Do we just
really,
stand here until the lights go down, or?
No, I have
We
to
gonna-
do I have to introduce another.
Oh, okay, I'll go. Bye, guys.